So you all went to Dunsparrow's estate. Hey, back off. On doing so, you were introduced, or in Cass's case, reintroduced to Cass's old friend Cobb, who spent some time, like most of the more senior individuals that you've met, getting high in the closet with the stack on Gnome Clover. Um, there was some catharsis, some opening up about certain events in the campaign between Cass and his old companion Dunsparrow.
Girlfriend.
We don't call ourselves that yet.
Oh, okay.
There was some friction related to your party murdering her father.
And there was some other fiction.
That's
With
right.
fake black.
And then also with her revealing that Oswald Beaumont did have some kind of failsafe against his death, and that she directly either stopped his death or straight up killed him herself. Which was a revelation that was revealed to Cass. So, where we begin, as you all recall, Dunsparrow offered to allow you to use her estate as a safe haven, as it was shielded from scrying and other divinations, and it has a teleportation sigil, which she said you would be allowed to use freely, and bring family and friends close by if you wish. So while some of you ponder that, we will begin with the man himself, Cassius. As you are now in Dunsparrow's room, she is in the process of getting dressed for the upcoming dinner service.
Um, as she's getting ready, Cass walks over to her and grabs her hand with the sigil on it.
She recoils a little bit, kind of seeing what you're doing, but then kind of allows it.
Yeah, if she's got sleeves or clothing or whatever, like I brush it up so the sigil is visible.
Yeah, no, it's her bare hand. You can see it.
Considering the circumstances, it would seem unfair of me to say to be careful or to ask if you're in danger. But I have seen what these people do. They have changed Varric. And if you need help dealing with them at all, I will help you. But I have to say, be careful, please.
Give me a persuasion check.
32.
Yeesh.
She looks at you curiously and says, what are you talking about?"
The Circle of Ruin and Thistle. So, strange language. I don't know what it is.
You know.
Well, besides the fact that the Traveler lets me read all sorts of things, Varric sort of got mixed up with them, and his heart is now made of grass or something like that. So it's not our first experience.
She.
I saw the sigils hanging outside, so I'm assuming they're protecting this place. Or you're using their power to protect it, which is fine.
Why are you so worried?
Because I've seen up close what they have done to my friend, and they changed him, his physical body. And I don't know what is going to happen because of that.
She kind of looks into her vanity and kind of begins powdering her face as she takes like a sip of a glass of wine that she's got. She's got an open bottle that you didn't notice, that you don't know how long it's been there, but as she powders her face, she says, well, everything comes at a cost. And a very important lesson that was taught to me by a close friend of mine. It doesn't matter who you are or what your title is or how much wealth you have. Life can be short and unpredictable when there's people that want you dead.
Do whatever it is you need to do to accomplish what you want. Just keep yourself safe. And again, I will always help you.
Give me an insight check.
Not bad, not bad. 18.
As soon as when you say that, you see a look of discomfort on her face as she looks at you, and then immediately tries to shake it out and turns back towards her vanity and just ignores that comment.
I begin or finish getting myself ready and walk towards the door. I know this is just the beginning of repairing things, but this is really nice. So just moving forward, I am an open book. I hope you're an open book. And, you know, besides needing friends in the city, it would be nice to have you back in my life. And I'm at the door.
Give me a third and final persuasion check with advantage.
Oh. Okay.
This was a 3-part skill check.
30.
Are you going to leave?
I am. That was,
Okay.
I was trying to make her feel guilty.
Yeah. Well, it worked. So she rushes back to you, kind of grabs you by the hand, and she's not meeting your gaze. You can tell there's something that she doesn't know how to tell you. And she says, what are you doing here, Cass? Not just here with me, but I mean in Langston. Why are you here?
Do you want the short story or the long one?
I want the truth.
We are here to gain relics that are part of something that protects, I don't know, this universe. Elhorn has one. We want it. Faraday wants it. We don't want him to have it. We have 2 of them. Elhorn has 2, we think. Maybe 1.
You keep using this term "we."
Well, the group.
You're the group that you brought here?
Yeah. We kind of call ourselves the Remnants.
Right. What is your relationship to them?
They're friends. They're people who have saved my life multiple times. And then there's Varric.
Do you pay them?
No. No, I don't pay them.
Okay. And then there's Varric. So what is your relationship to him?
That was a joke. I trust Varric probably more than anybody else in the group. Not probably, I do. What are you getting at?
I just... You... The Cass I remember was... not as much of a team player as the one that's standing before me.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to be here. They're all my friends.
Well, what do you want to do?
And he puts his hand on the door. I would like to go back home or somewhere else nice. I would like to have a family, and I would like to be done with all of this.
He's going to, as you're talking, she's going to kind of grab your hand and pull it away from the door and kind of start like rubbing the back of your neck and turning you away from the exit.
Okay.
And she's going to say, I don't understand why you've got such an interest in what these old criminals and wizards are doing. Why not let Faraday and Elhorn and whoever else duke it out? Let your friends deal with that. Why don't you stay? I mean, my father's out of the way, right? Isn't that what you wanted?
No. No. I just wanted him to leave us alone.
Well, he will now.
I can't just stay. I can't just walk away. There's...
Why?
There are multiple reasons why this island might not be an island soon.
And it's you that is standing between us and, what, annihilation? I mean, I don't mean to... Sorry, that came out wrong. Doesn't that give us all the more reason to live in the moment?
He begins pacing the room a little bit.
Look, I don't know how else to put this. I am the High Chancellor of New Callum. I've got a direct line to the Queen of Brightwater. I have amassed a army of clockwork soldiers. This enterprise generates more gold in a week than the College of Brightwater did in 3 years. And I would be willing to share that with you. Now, you have interests, I have interests. I'd be open to hearing about these new interests that you have. I just don't see how this group of yours and your friend Varric fit into this.
Because they are important people. Or they could be. We all could be.
Okay. Are they important to you?
Yes.
Okay. Enough said.
Well, hold on. You are more important to me than they are.
Please,
Okay.
Cass, you're misunderstanding why I'm getting at this. So, the Circle is going to attempt to kill Varric.
Okay. When?
Tomorrow.
Do they need him to stay dead?
They don't share the details with me. They make demands, and I have debts.
So you brought us here to get him here.
No. Give me an insight check.
I don't need one.
Okay, that's fair.
It was a natural 2 anyways.
Yeah, if you don't need one, you don't need one. She's not meeting your gaze right now.
Okay, this is... What I was about to say was I need to deal with Faraday. He needs to not be a threat. And then I'm done with all of this. What you've just told me is you brought me and all my friends here just so you can kill Varric.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't.
You did.
Look, I'm as much a prisoner to the Circle as anything else.
See, and I said, okay. How much do you know?
I know that the one who holds my contract will be there. A green witch.
Okay. I've never seen all of Varric's dealings with that witch have been in private, right?
You don't know, but
Yeah,
you were not part of any of it.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I just couldn't remember if I've seen her. Okay. Okay. Varric will die tomorrow. Or at least I won't do anything to stop it if that releases you from whatever debt you're in.
It doesn't.
What else needs to happen?
Again, if you and your friends want, I didn't know that you cared about them. I know that Varric is a vagabond and a murderer who's got a long-standing history of violence from even before he set foot on Karsus. Tracked down records from the Five Fingers that, let's just say, he's not someone that you'd expect to bring to a dinner party. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I know more than you might think. I also know that you hired him as essentially hired muscle out of Langston when you were attempting to dig up information on Oswald. I was not aware that you've developed such a touching friendship. If I would have known that, I would not have extended an invitation to the both of you. That being said, given I did not know that was the case, and now I do, you are more than welcome to leave Barrowmore before tomorrow evening. And you're welcome to deal with the circle however you wish, and my part will just be my own problem. So, and then she'll open the door and say, there, you kind of sense like a new coldness to her. She says, I'm very glad we had this chat. I'm going to finish getting ready, and maybe I'll see you at dinner.
I just give her a nod and leave.
The door closes briskly behind you. Okay.
Okay, I go find Varric wherever he is and do stuff later.
You guys have had some downtime. What will you all have been doing?
I would have gone back to. I would have had Sundar help me teleport back to my ex-wife Sarah.
Are you spending the evening in the Sea of Swords?
Well, we were gonna have like a dinner, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to be back for that, but other than that, I'll be at the Sea of Swords.
Are you trying to bring your family back?
I will ask Sarah if she feels comfortable doing that.
Give me a persuasion check. DC is
5.
She is a little hesitant, and she's willing to go mainly because your daughter Natasha is there, and she's really excited about.
I would have made sure to ask her without.
Okay, got it.
One present.
Okay.
Because I don't want to.
I'll say, give me a perception check then.
7.
Okay.
We're rolling hot, guys.
So as you ask your wife about it, you watch as her eyes kind of dart to the corner of the room, and you watch as your daughter, who did sneak up to eavesdrop, heard everything, and kind of like busts out from behind a cupboard, and just goes, "Oh, Mom, can we go, please?" And then Sarah just kind of like looks at you with kind of a deadpan look.
I'm gonna get down on my knees, on a knee, and sorry, sweetie, but this isn't really a child dinner. You know, it's only for grown-ups. That's why I was asking only your mother. You know.
Sarah looks at you and just says, "Is it safe?" She's gonna grab. If you don't respond, she's gonna grab Natasha and like usher her out of the room.
I'm just gonna give her a look that says, I don't know.
Um, she looks at you and just says, "Okay, if that's the case, then I will go." And then she turns to Natasha and says, "All right, now, come on, let's get you ready for bed."
Before they get ready for bed, I do give Natasha a kiss on the forehead.
Okay. She's gonna punch you in the chest,
Cool.
playfully.
I love you. Be a good girl.
You could tell she was holding back, and that if she hit you hard enough, she would have dealt damage.
Yeah, I assume
Yeah.
my daughter's a badass.
Um, she gives you a kiss on the forehead back, and she runs off to get ready for bed. You watch as Sarah kind of goes through some of her clothes, and she reaches in like a little cupboard and pulls out like a kind of pretty long dagger and begins like concealing it like behind like she's wearing like a kind of threaded blouse, and it kind of like slips right in the back.
It's just, is Natasha out of here?
Yeah.
It's Beaumont's daughter. Cass's. They have a relationship.
I know who she is.
Okay. I'm just,
Yeah, she's the new High Chancellor of the city.
Oh, making moves already, I see.
Yeah, it's yeah. Anyways, I'd be very excited to hear about what she has to say about how things are going in New Callum. I'm sure she'd be delighted to meet the working head of the Shields of Helm.
Let's try and play nice.
No politics at the table.
Awesome. Love it. If it gets hairy, though.
You watch as she's got like this little pouch, and she's like stuffing some healing potions in there and like ties it off, and she goes back and she goes, Beaumont's daughter, she's a caster, right?
As far as I know, yes.
She pulls the dagger out, goes back to the drawer, pulls the drawer out, puts it back, pulls out a different dagger, puts it, like closes the drawer, and like slips that behind her back.
If it does get hairy, God knows you could beat the living hell out of me. I would please request that you get back here to, raise our daughter. If it gets real bad.
Let's say for the rest of the next year, you don't get to make comments about who gets to do the killing, while who gets to do the raising of our child. Does that sound fair?
Sounds very fair.
I've had 9 years, and then you give me just the one. How's that?
You can have all of them.
Caster. And she, like, as she's kind of pointing at you, like in thought, she heads off towards the armory.
Should I follow her?
She didn't say.
Okay, I'm gonna go wait at the teleportation circle. until she's ready.
All right. So you're coming back with Sarah.
Yeah.
For the sake of this, we'll say that Reyna will also be there.
I'd also like to keep an eye out for my daughter.
Give me a
Specifically.
perception check.
That's better. 19.
You don't see her.
Okay.
As Varric comes back to the teleportation circle, Sundara's kind of pacing back and forth and he looks at him and goes, "Is Natasha coming?"
No. Sarah. Not Natasha.
So, do you think I should invite Solonor? I mean, I wouldn't dare ask if your daughter is coming. That's just in case, but I mean, Sarah can.
Sarah can take care of herself.
Yeah.
If you think it would be beneficial for you, then yeah. I trust you to make the best decision in general.
She continues pacing.
This might be a, again, totally trust you. Might be a cast question.
I mean, you can answer this just fine, Varric. So, how did it go with Sarah? She's excited.
Well, I didn't get punched in the face.
That's a
We'll
good.
say it's a bonus. I did get a little chewed out about a couple of comments, but it's par for the course.
Every time I hear that you didn't get punched in the face by her, I just seen on last because that's pretty much what it is. And having a conversation with her, and for a
Eddie,
big fella, you must move quickly.
you are way cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Sorry, my signal is cutting in and out.
Okay.
I'm talking to Optimus Prime.
A little bit. Well, I was gonna say, as you were having that conversation, you would notice Reyna and Roderick kind of in the distance, just within line of sight, having a conversation with each other.
Who's Roderick?
That was Reyna's companion when you first exchanged with her.
Okay.
When you guys kind of parked your big juggernaut ships next to each other.
Say, have you seen Laura?
No, she's supposed to be here somewhere.
Oh well.
I'm sure she's doing fine.
You hear a voice from the back just go, "She spends most of her time on the upper deck."
I thought you said Natasha wasn't coming.
She's not. She's supposed to be getting into bed, isn't that right?
I did get into bed.
And then you got out.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
I didn't
stay
say I
in
would
bed.
stay there.
Well, I'm asking you to stay there.
Okay. Well, I heard someone ask about Alara. She usually spends her time up on the upper deck. She made a weird thing up there with bird feathers. She told me not to touch it, so I didn't.
Well,
I
they keep
didn't.
them-
She touched
That
it. There, she
sounds like-
touched it.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
I
If
can
you
show
could please, no, it's okay. Please go to bed and stay there
I mean,
until morning.
aren't you
What's in it
kind
for
of
me?
interest-
What's in it for you? I don't tell your mom you're not in bed.
Okay. How about you don't tell my mom that I'm not in bed and you give me 10 gold?
How about this is a negotiation?
Okay. You're right. It's not a negotiation. I won't settle for less than 15.
He's so good at this.
I'm gonna go find Sarah.
Okay. She just kind of narrows her eyes and watches as Varric walks away from her. And she looks over at you, Zendara, and just goes, "So what's your deal?"
You know, just regular old magic stuff. And then I mage hand her 5 gold.
You mage hand her 5 gold. She kind of points at you and she says, "You I like." And she turns around and just starts like flipping one of the coins up as she's walking, definitely in a direction that doesn't look like where the living quarters are.
Oops. Sorry, Bert.
All right, you're gonna go try to find Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna head towards the armory because I assume that's where she'd be.
Okay. Yep. You find her.
Your daughter tried to bribe me. Our daughter tried to bribe me into not telling you that she's wandering the ship.
I wonder where she learned that from.
Oh, are you insinuating that I'm bribing people?
I don't really know what you're doing.
Well, bribing is not one of those things.
Oh, good. Well, at least that. You notice that she's got like the bottom of a dress on, and she's got this like exquisite, like beautiful silver. It's almost like a blouse, like it's extremely light, but it's like a silver chain.
Wow.
She kind of looks over at you and just says, "Oh, stop."
What? Stuff what?
Staring.
Sorry. You're even more beautiful than the day I met you.
Yeah. She pulls out a dagger and like holds it against her chest and like rakes the blade across her chest, and you just kind of hear metal clacking. And as it does, she just kind of looks at you and kind of points the handle of the blade at you and just goes, "Mithril chain. They never see it coming."
Smart
Yeah.
and sexy? How did I get
And
so lucky?
just like gives you like an annoyed look, and then just kind of narrows her eyes and just goes, "How indeed." She slips the rest of the dress kind of over the chain, so you can't really see. Like, she's got like a full thing of chainmail, and you cannot see it really. It just looks like a fancy, shiny blouse underneath. She kind of turns towards you and just says, "Would you mind tying me up?"
Not at all. I will do that.
Okay. You notice there are like 2 blades very clearly like kind of hidden in the back of this dress. As you do so, she just kind of holds out her arm.
Oh, I take her arm.
Okay. And she just kind of looks at you and just says, "You're going like that?"
Well, we were expecting a trap, and this is all I brought, so yes.
Okay, well, I'm expecting a trap as well. Okay, so the 2 of you kind of walk towards the circle. You see Sundara back there. Sarah just looks at you and just says, kind of nods her head. She actually just walks over towards you and like holds her arm out for a hug.
From me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sandara's real chill about it.
Oh yeah.
He goes, it's good to see you, Sandara. Hope things have been going well.
Yep, pretty good. You know, try not to die. The usual.
No one died yet?
I look at Varric. Did you? No.
Not since the last time I died.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
the first time. You know the dragon? I told you about that, right?
You see she didn't break eye contact from Sandara, and you kind of watch. You know how you see someone and you can see their facial expression doesn't change, but the smile behind their eyes turns into a frown? That's what happens.
I'm going to go send a quick message. And I just turn and walk off.
Dragon, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You know, terrorizing travelers and such.
So you could say that story for another time. We have to focus.
Yes.
All right. So shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. She steps onto the teleportation sigil and looks at you expectantly.
I step on.
Oh, we need Sandara for this, don't we?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And she left. Okay. Sandara, where are you going?
I am just stepping like 10 feet away. I'm gonna whip out the Palantir and send a message, and she's like pacing as she does it and is trying not to look over at whatever Varric and Sarah are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send a message to Solomon and say, Sol, dinner at Barrymore Manor. It's been a while since I've seen your face without the mask, and I've missed your company.
You hear a response. I need you to show me the sigil, and I'll be there.
Alright. I don't know how to show him the sigil, but I'll do that.
Give me an insight check.
17?
As soon, like, before he said anything or responded to your spell, you immediately felt like a second presence that was physically there. And as the sending spell ended, as he ended his communication, that presence that you felt didn't vanish. There's kind of like this warm aura in the general vicinity.
Oh. Got it. I will hop on the teleportation sigil on the one with Varric and Sarah.
Okay.
Whee!
And I'll look over at them. It's like a fun reunion, isn't it? Alright. Let's magic. And I will activate the circle.
Okay. With that, the kind of brass sigils kind of like snap together, and there's this arcane whirring, and there's this like electric shock sound, and you find yourself in the manor hall of Barrowmore.
I have to say, it's much better than the vortex warp.
Don't like the vortex warp?
I mean, first of all, not complaining, it's saved my skin multiple times. It is jarring.
But it's just like transporting matter through space in a little bit of time. It's not.
I don't know
I
how to
c-
explain it to you. It is different than teleporting.
I mean, your matter stays together during the teleportation.
It
I
doesn't
can
during
feel
vortex.
it. No, I can feel during vortex warp that it does. Mostly.
I'm not saying it's not a good spell. I'm just saying sometimes out of nowhere it is a little jarring.
Do you want me to
Nope,
ask permission or anything, or it's
just do
okay
it.
if I? Okay.
Do it when you feel. I'm getting used to it.
Have you ever been vortex warped, Sarah?
I don't know what that means.
Ah, someday maybe.
Well,
I worked with a wizard once who would insist upon casting a spell that would shunt me through space. Um, and he would always call it a fastball special. It was he would just yell fastball special, and I I could feel like I could stop it if I wanted to, but then he would just do it, and then both of us would go, and then it'd usually be me hitting something on the other side of what that was.
That's
what's
kind
the
of
name?
like the exact same thing.
Pretty similar.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Say the first time I didn't get a warning, and it was.
She just kind of shrugs, and just begins kind of looking around. Goes, wow, place is nice.
Have you met Smoogie?
I believe so.
He's probably one of my new good pals. Really like him. He makes bombs and stuff.
And tea.
And tea, I've never had it.
Never had the tea.
I love tea, and
Uh,
she like reaches down and to give you a handshake.
She's giving me a handshake.
Yeah.
Have we ever met before?
I think you have, but I don't think you've ever spoken before.
Okay. Sumugi holds out a hand, which I'm sure is completely like
You
enveloped.
do like one of these where she's gripping your whole hand with two of her fingers and looking up.
this is my ex-wife Sarah. Sarah, this is Smoogie. The monk.
Yes, it's. I believe we've briefly met before, but it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance officially. And Sumugi gives a reverent bow.
Wow, likewise. Your friend's so polite.
They are, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that we're friends with this. Where's Cass at?
I mean, we saw him sneak away with
Oh
Dunsparrow.
yeah, he didn't done that
Probably.
Is Natasha still in the vicinity?
No,
No, she's not there.
Okay.
sorry.
thing. Oh. Said it like an actual dad.
Um,
An adult event. Smoogie, are you bringing anyone?
Yeah,
No, I'm not. I wasn't. Do you mean like a date? What do you? I wasn't
Date,
planning on a no. And then he
a
starts
friend.
laughing.
I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
we
I
could
just
take
thought
you.
we were all going together.
Yeah, I'm just, they offered to have us bring people. I never met any of your family, so.
I guess I'm going stag.
more power to you. Keep your options open, you know?
It's not really a statement, it's just happenstance. But sure, yes.
With that, there's a you notice the teleportation sigil at the center of the room begins to pulse with energy, and you watch as there's this like gentle, like goldish aura that begins to emanate from it, and in a flash you hear no sound whatsoever. You see a shadow apparate into a kind of gaunt and somewhat lanky elven figure with extravagant black and gold robes, with a bit of a high collar, short hair, almost like buzzed on the side, but kind of long in the front, a little bit emo and like kind of messy, where some of it kind of like gets in the way of his eyes. This red-haired elf appears.
Is he a sky elf?
He does not appear to be a sky elf.
Oh, a grounder.
On one hand, he's carrying what looks like a bottle of wine, and in another, he's carrying a single, what looks like a flower of some kind. Except it's completely clockwork in design. It's gold and brass, and you see it almost looks like it's like flexing and relaxing and flexing and relaxing. As Sundara, you see Solinor for the first time in what feels like years.
You came.
He kind of nervously looks around. Yes.
So, no?
He steps forward slowly and then like stops as soon as you say his name.
Yes. Saul, this is my friend Varric, and
I picture out a
his
hand.
He hands you a bottle of wine.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. I don't drink, but I'm told it's a very old vintage with some value, sentimental and otherwise.
I hand it to Sarah because I don't know anything about wine, and I don't want to have alcohol in my hands.
She takes it from you and begins reading it and says, I can't read this. Looks old. Hi, I'm Sarah. And he just like,
Sarah.
he's still looking around, like he's expecting something to jump out and attack him at any moment. He says, yes, it's a pleasure to meet you, Sarah. He steps forward and holds out the flower for you, Sundara.
I will grab it and commune with it and see what it does.
Oh, yeah, you immediately, well, as soon as you, like, reach for it, you watch as it begins to bloom, like, where it was kind of almost in a half bloom, and then it just completely opens up. So this is a clockwork lotus. It has, yeah, it has 12 petals on it, and you can essentially pluck the petals, and you could throw them at people to deal damage, or as a bonus action, you can actually consume them to heal for 1d6 to any target within 5 feet of you.
Consume as in eat them?
No, essentially it's like a multi-tiered enchantment where essentially you can like consume the magic that it holds within each petal. So it just turns into just like a piece of like unenchanted brass when you do that.
Genuinely excited.
And it's got a
Sandara,
very pleasant aroma to it.
and it smells. Oh my gosh.
It does not. It's weird. It doesn't smell like a flower exactly. Like it. It smells like. It almost exudes a scent of like if you open up like a new. I mean, the only thing I could think of is like if you open like a new like something electronic, like a fancy graphics card,
Oh.
something like that. And it's just got this just like synthetic, like heavy, like smell to it that
Love
where it's
it.
like this smells expensive. It smells expensive.
You stick your nose in your PC and take a whiff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Selenor.
He just kind of nods and says, "I didn't have much time to prepare, so I hope. I'm glad you like it, and I hope you're not just saying that. Which, if you were, you wouldn't have to lie if you didn't like it."
Ah, I forgot how silly you are. Okay. We've got, are we dinnering now, guys? I look around.
So, quick question.
Uh,
You're not drinking, that's right? Alcohol, that is? I assume you consume other beverages?
I suppose I could have a drink.
I mean, I was just saying, I myself, on the wagon, off the wagon? I don't know. I'm not drinking anymore. Got a little too violent. But, it was just nice to meet somebody else who's, sober.
Sundar, give me an insight check.
I'm really trying to be nice to this guy.
Yeah, you're really trying.
11.
Give it to me. Try again. Give me. I'll let you roll with advantage.
Oh god, give me something. 12.
Ooh,
So much better.
You see Solinor as Varric's talking to him. Solinor is not a people person. He does not communicate with people very often, and he's also, as far as you know, probably pretty old for even for an elf. So you can see as Varric's talking like quickly at him and using a lot of like colloquialisms that Solinor's probably never heard before. You watch as Solinor, his first look is like a little confused, and then looks like a little bit anxious that he doesn't know what's happening. And then you see this like quick look of like determination and this like golden glint over his golden eyes, and he looks like he's now concentrating on something else. And then after about a few seconds, he has this look of understanding in his eyes.
he just spell? He just magic?
This guy's
I'm
such
going
a
to
nerd.
put my. I'm going to put my arm into Solinor's and just kind of walk in a direction that's not right here.
He doesn't budge. He just goes, Varric, is it?
Yes, correct.
I understand that alcohol, while some think it is good, for others it may not be the case. I have no preference one way or another. But in solidarity, if you defer a beverage tonight, I think I might as well.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't impose on anyone. Just when you entered, you said you didn't drink, so I assumed that meant you didn't drink at all. But please,
I'm glad you two are getting along. That's great. I need to talk to you in private. If it's okay with you.
He nods and looks kind of nervously around again and just says, well, it was a pleasure meeting you. Varric. I'm sure I'll see you again at the dinner.
Yeah. Great pleasure.
And then his eyes kind of wander over to Samugi, and he looks back at you, Sundar, and looks at Samugi and just says, "Hello, my name is Solinor."
Solinor. Wait, have I met Solinor before?
No.
Okay. It's a pleasure to meet you, although I've already made acquaintance with your clockwork sentinels. Hee and then he just kind of chuckles to himself. Fine work, you two.
Were they... Did you find them too easy to dismantle?
I wouldn't say that, as I'm quite well practiced in my area of expertise, but
You watch
it
as
was
he kind of
a fun
cocks
challenge.
his head. And Sundar, you see that same look of just like understanding. And then he just says, "Wow. You are quite the master, I can see. I also suspect that you are somewhat of an artificer yourself."
I am. Well, I consider myself one.
Well, as someone who has been on the other side of my creations, I would be very interested in hearing notes about ways that they could be improved.
Oh, absolutely. We can get into that later. Let's not talk business tonight, perhaps.
Of
But
course. I apologize. I am aware that I can be a little bit obsessive, especially when it comes to my work, as I'm sure you can imagine as a fellow practitioner.
Oh, absolutely. I have to restrain myself sometimes. But absolutely, we can get into it at some other point.
He kind of nods and he says, "Kansamida."
Samugi just gives an impressed look and gives a very deep 90-degree bow.
Full 90.
Full 90.
That's good.
He kind of turns and walks with Sundar.
Like, turn to Samugi and like, don't tell him how to make them better.
Okay? So you're gonna walk with Solinor?
Yeah, we'll just like loop the grounds until we see signs that dinner's happening.
Okay.
That was an odd fellow, wasn't he? No? Okay. I guess I'll go look for Cass. You okay here, Sarah?
Yeah.
You can
He
come
and
with me if you
Sundar-
like.
No, that's fine. You boys go have fun. Me and Sundar can
Sundara's
go
gone.
down the fort. Oh, that's right. Sundar left. She looks over at Samugi and says, "Want to open this thing up?"
Yeah, sure, let's get into it. Wouldn't mind if I do.
She looks over and says, "I have no idea what these markings mean. Have you seen this before?" Shows it to you.
Do I recognize the markings?
Give me a history check with your gnomish advantage.
What is my gnomish? Is that just at advantage?
Don't you have a thing where you get advantage on history checks that have to do with like artifacts and things like that?
Do I?
I thought that was a thing.
Gnome, cunning,
Ancient
lore.
gnome
Okay, artifice
lore.
is lore.
Yeah, that's the one. The lore thing.
Okay. Do the.
Just take fucking advantage with it.
Yeah, I took it. That is a. Yeah, I rolled an 18, so a 19.
You don't know what it means. You do know the script. This is Netherese. So this is like thousands of years old.
Are the Netheri, is that the snake people? The snake things?
The Netherese were like an ancient civilization of basically super wizards that almost destroyed the world.
Cool.
With like Karsus being like the main like of the Netherese people, like the poster child of the Netherese.
Happens.
They're very much just like, man, gods are kind of lame. Like, let's just out magic them. And then they almost did, and then almost destroyed the world.
Well, maybe that's why Sundar doesn't believe in gods. I just realized that.
Smoogie just says, I can't read it, but it is in an ancient Netherese script. He pops it open and then takes a smell and kind of just recoils and goes, "Ooh, we should let this one breathe."
Sarah kind of like gives it a whiff too, and she goes, "Oof, I think you're right." She looks around. She grabs the bottle and takes a quick swig and puts it back. You watch as she like gives this kind of almost like little disoriented look and just goes, "Yeah, wow. It's good, but yeah, maybe letting it breathe." And she walks over and like finds a little glass on the side and like pours it in a glass and like begins like swirling it around. She says, "Do you know anything about wine?"
Uh, Only a few Hangul variants, usually made out of different grains. I'm not a huge drinker myself, but every now and then when the occasion calls for it, I
Pours
don't
you a big
mind
ass
getting a little
glass.
bit. Oop, okay. Smokey grabs it with two hands, whirls
Yeah,
it around.
she swirls it too, and she says, "I don't know anything about wine either, but I know that." And she looks at the glass and she says, "I know that you can count the lines on it, and you call them legs. I just don't know what it means."
What?
Well, it sounds like you know more about wine than I do. Samogi holds up the thing and cheers her.
Yep. She cheers you, and she takes like a big swig off of it as she grabs the bottle for another pour.
Dude, Sarah's going in. I might get
Alright.
laid tonight.
I
guys.
like the Sarah Samugi mashup. It's the thing we didn't know we needed.
Samogi just
So-
follows suit, starts working on his.
Give me a gnomish Constitution saving throw.
God. Everyone's just arrived and we're already getting trashed.
I will
Yeah.
say,
You need it.
you will add a +4 to this because you are within Sarah's aura.
Oh, cool. Sarah's got Constitution aura.
That's a 15.
Okay.
She's a holy woman.
You're keeping your
what?
wits about you. You're having a good time. You're just getting a little loose.
Get a little loose.
All right. Before we move on, is there anything that anyone is doing? Sindara, as you're walking with Solinar, is there anything that you're specifically doing that you'd like to play out at the table?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess first she'll ask him. So you knew all along that I was Valinder's, like Karsus's granddaughter?
Yes.
Did you manipulate my trial of future visions?
Shit. I'm not swinging.
And I stop walking. I'm just staring at him.
He looks at you with a straight face. Yes.
So you pushed me to leave Valendry so that I would find you.
Again, yes.
Were you ever... You were never a Valendrian, were you? You've never done the trials?
No. My trials were different.
So you don't know what it means when you don't follow the path that your trial sets for you.
Do you?
I mean, you become unbound. The people, other Valendrians, look at you, and there's a lot of shame involved, but I guess it doesn't really matter now. What they all whispered about me as I left was true after all. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm just...
Your destiny goes far beyond anything that the elders of Valendry could ponder. They are severely lacking in both perspective and imagination. And I can say this: the fact that those people use your grandfather's name so freely, well, practicing beliefs that he never subscribed to, would have him turning in his grave.
Sort
He
of
wanted
beliefs. It's...
the isolationist mentality, the holding on to the past without pondering that which could be. Sundari, your grandfather was a great elf. Possibly the best. He was an outcast. I don't know if you knew that. Half human, half elf. Disregarded by both peoples. Yet he proved himself, and you couldn't help but respect him. Sorry, I didn't mean to reminisce, but he was my friend, and I believe that he wanted more for his children, and more for you, much more for you.
So when he, I guess, took on the mantle of the god, he didn't... I mean, he killed so many people.
He saved the world.
There was no other choice?
The Ferrum threat had grown beyond control.
We're right back where we started.
Well, I suppose his true folly was sparing the Ferrum that consumed your grandmother.
Folly for sure.
But I understand not being able to kill a thing that you love.
Well, now the Ferrum are just doing the same thing again, and there's no options on... I mean, I'm not going to take on a mantle of a god and kill the world.
Of course not. Why would... Who told you about that?
Thundaria did when I talked to the Faron Queen.
Huh. Remarkable. No, I do not think that would be your fate.
Did you, when the Faerun first arrived, have any other ideas on destroying them?
Many. Your grandfather and I had many. We didn't have the time. But the answer for our problems, as he believed and as I still believe, is in the great gears of Mechanus.
How can Mechanus help us now?
Oh, it can serve as a model. You have beings that prey on pure chaos and entropy. So, your grandfather and I look towards a world of perfect harmony and order. And perhaps we can reshape our world in its image. No more entropy, just perfect, harmonious order.
Where would you even start with a plan like that?
Well, it would take hundreds of years of planning, research, acquiring artifacts, and a very powerful sorcerer. Perhaps 2 very powerful sorcerers.
Wouldn't you say that there is some entropy that is good for the world, though?
I think the nature of our world must have some kind of balance. I don't think that order can exist without chaos. And the same would be true in reverse. Your grandfather never had an interest in controlling people. In fact, if he had any flaws, I might even say that was one of them. Because people are easily swayed, they're fickle. And perhaps sometimes they need a guiding hand. Your grandfather only ever sought to restore balance. And that has only ever been my goal.
Do you remember our last night together before you sent me to prison?
He just looks at you with like an understanding look.
Did you hesitate?
I thought you might benefit from some perspective. You've got a century of experience, but none outside the walls of the floating city. Wouldn't you say that you've learned more in the last few months than the entirety of your lifetime combined?
Absolutely. Of course, I wouldn't be nearly as powerful as I am now if I didn't go.
Can you not see that your people, your grandfather's people, have let themselves become blinded to the reality of the rest of the world?
Yes, there are many things wrong with Valendry.
So, to answer your question, did I hesitate? Yes, I did. It is difficult to cause harm to that which you love.
Love is kind of a type of entropy if you think about it.
Why did you bring me here?
I have not met anybody else like us that can do the things that we do and the power that we have. And as much as I tried to resent you and hate you and fear you, I can't. I can't deny that there's something between us that I am drawn to. And I missed that.
He's gonna kind of reach out to, kind of reach for your hand.
Yeah, I'll put my hand in his hand.
I am sorry for that which you have suffered. And I'm mostly sorry about myself. I am excessive and I can be cruel and quick to make judgments. But I long for the day that you leave all of this behind and embrace your destiny by my side.
Good thing that there's a lot of time because I still have so much to do in the world.
You do. Are you sure that you're on the right path right now? And he kind of looks back towards the house, towards the rest of your companions.
I mean, this is kind of the path you put me on.
I have so much to show you. And time, once again, is working against us.
I don't think that I'm powerful enough yet to accept a role at your side.
He, for the first time, he smiles and looks extremely amused. Oh, Sandara. I wish that I could share the wonders of what your grandfather and I discovered. I'll just say that something happened to the both of us in our journeys to Mechanus. And although I had found myself changed by that place, I was changed, but I was not chosen. Your grandfather, he was chosen. It was very clear to the both of us. I do not think that you are as powerful as I am. I think you are far more powerful than I could ever be. He squeezes your hand and puts his head down and kind of looks up towards the stars and then begins walking back towards the house.
I will follow him back. And I'll just start casually chatting about weird clockwork stuff. Specifically, the icebreaker and our weird mech bev.
Okay. As you mention that, he stops in his tracks, does like a long blink, deep breath, and then continues moving forward. And does not say anything about that. Okay. Varric, you were looking for Cass?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume I know the general direction he went in.
We'll say after enough time you'd be able to find him.
Okay.
For the sake of this, we'll say that you meet up in the main hall.
Oh, I was looking for you.
It's the two of us?
You watch as you kind of link back up. You do a circle, and then you come back, and you're in the main hall. You meet Cass there, and right as you meet him, and you're about to say something, you watch as Sarah kind of like saunters out and like points at you, Cass, and just goes, "Hey."
Oh, hello, Sarah.
You, I heard, have a beautiful singing voice.
Oh.
Samugi was telling me all about it. Isn't that right, Samugi? You know, Samugi
That's great.
This bard's got some pipe.
And you watch as she like kind of gets on her knees and puts her arm around Samugi, and she goes, "Do you know this guy's from the north? He's technically from Koza, which is where my ancestors are from, where Varric's ancestors are from. So in a way, we are related.
Related.
Yeah.
We are
What a
cousins."
big happy family.
I lean over to Varric. I promise not to give you shit about this later. This is hilarious. This is a wonderful sight.
And the bottle of wine, I assume, was supposed to be a gift to the host. I handed it to her.
Cass, won't you sing them the song? Sing the song. Sing the story, and everyone was clapping and having a great time.
This.
Do that
Hey,
one.
Cass, sing the song.
Okay, thank you, Varric. This is unfortunately too small of an audience for me. But you know what? Tonight, I'll do a performance just for you two. Varric, can I speak with you real quickly?
Sarah, 1 second.
I walk
Yes,
away.
ex-husband.
Wow, that hurt a little bit. How much have you had to drink?
I think, okay, you of all people. Ooh, do we want to go down this road?
You know what? You're right. I hope you're having a good time.
Yep. She looks. At this point, we'll say Sandara and Sonor walk back in, and you just hear the latter end of that. And you watch as she kind of like raises her eyebrows at Sandara. And then she just goes, "The gall."
The gall.
I'll follow Cass to somewhere other than here.
Okay.
That's the right move.
Hey, can I have my gun back?
Sundara has it.
Fuck, Jesus Christ.
Well,
Oh.
you gave me a gun. Do you think that was a good idea?
I expected you to have it. It's fine. I'll just go find Sundara.
Is that all you brought me a vehicle?
Um,
You know what? Tell me after dinner. It's supposed to be a party tonight, right? Let loose, have a good time. Have a few drinks. Not me. You.
yeah, I think there's enough important people here that maybe I don't partake in anything. Too
What do you mean?
much that could go wrong.
What's that supposed to mean?
There's just a lot of people we care about that are coming,
Yeah.
and probably important people.
Okay.
It's all right. I guess I'm gonna go find Sundara.
Great.
Okay.
You go back and find Sandara.
Cassius, I'd like for you to meet Solinor.
Oh,
Hello, Cassius.
you. I'm gonna be
Oh
honest.
yeah, I met all of these people in prison, so that's probably a little awkward.
I can see the matching ink.
Yeah, prison butts. I expected a lot more metal. I'm gonna be honest on you.
I told you he wasn't
Uh,
a metal person.
I give him a quick like up and down look. Are you is a handshake okay? Are you a handshake guy?
Sure, I will just need to grease up my metal joints, and then I should be able to manage one. And he holds out his hand.
I reach out, shake it. I have spare grease if you need it. Sundara, my
Yes.
gun. May I please have it?
Oh yeah, sure. I pull it out of the bag of holding.
Thank you
Didn't
very much.
didn't shoot anybody.
Nope, I couldn't because you had my gun.
You're very innovative, Cass. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could have shot somebody.
Probably. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna go get changed for this dinner
Are
or
you-
something.
Are you okay?
For now.
You're looking at. You're saying that to Cass, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would notice Solinor had a like kind of stared at the gun for a while, and he got like this very like almost troubled look.
That's not good.
Cass, are you okay?
What? I'm sorry. Oh, you can see in his eyes very much no. He is screaming, "Help! Please, please help! Danger! Danger!" But he says, "Yeah, for now. I'm fine. We're all fine." Walk away.
I'm gonna subtle cast sending to Cass and just be like, "What's wrong?"
Sindara, as soon as you do that, Solinor says, I'm going to step outside for a second. And he nods at you, Cass, and says, it was a pleasure to meet you, and steps away.
Did Did he ever look at me with glinty eyes? Did I see the sparkle in his eyes?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, that was almost an agile 20. It teased me. 15.
You get this general sense that like he's got he's got just golden eyes, and as the light reflects on them at different angles, they sometimes glint. So yeah, a couple times it happened. You had no indication that he did anything out of the ordinary, but at the same time, like right as Sundara casted a spell, he stepped away.
Yeah, alright.
So
Okay. Cass. Do I have to speak aloud to respond? For sending?
I think you probably do.
That's a good question. But you can send it across any distance.
Well, I'm gonna say. Here's my interpretation. There's a verbal component of the spell, and I would say that part of that is actually sending the message itself at whatever volume you want to say it. And I'm going to say that the same is for the receiver and resender.
Really?
Okay.
Interesting.
So you kind of have to like what you can whisper or like say something really quietly, but that's what gets like projected by the spell.
Okay. This is
Right next to each
unfortunate.
other.
Okay, so Cass just whispers under his breath. Things just went rocky as always with...
You know what? I'm sorry. I take it back. Because Sundara used the subtle spell, that kind of implies that the actual components of the spell can be kind of circumvented. So you can do it like telepathically, essentially.
Okay. That's pretty big. Things just went rocky, as usual, with Dunsparrow. And I'm just nervous for this dinner, but... That's it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very sketchy dinner with a lot of sketchy people. If you need anything, let me know. Code word pineapples or something. Velociraptor. You know.
You're
look-
casting the spell again?
No, now I'm just saying
Okay.
this because we're by ourselves.
Okay.
You just look. What form are you in right now?
Cassius.
Okay. You just look a little more pink, less red, you know?
Yeah, hard to hide that. Fuck. Okay. I'll talk to you later today.
Yeah.
Code word pineapple. I need to
Pineapple.
figure things out first.
Sounds good. I turn to Sarah.
Solomon really,
yeah.
he really doesn't, he's really not what I was expecting. I just gotta say.
I feel like that's partially my fault because I kind of hated him and resented him for so long and might have made him out to be a very cruel person. I mean, I don't know, it's weird.
He's a big picture person.
Yeah. And
Okay.
sometimes the little picture gets lost in the...
Yeah.
Sometimes the little picture is your emotions and your feelings, but that's just dumping that on you, sorry.
Hey, you know what? I'm in the right heart space for it. Everything good between you two?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think I've got it in me to keep having angry thoughts, and he says nice things, and it works, and he brings me cool clockwork flowers, and I cave in like a little snail that got stepped on. So, I mean, I'm fine. I'm happy that he came and has been nice and has said things that are nice.
It's good. You know,
Yeah.
this just opens up doors later in the future to see where things go. You know.
Yeah, like in 300 years, ruling the world together as like a little clockwork, mechanist thing type of doors. Is that what you meant?
You know,
That's
it's
not what
all
you meant.
is no. I had not even considered living 300 years. Very hard to
That's
consider
fair.
that. But hey, you know what? Just don't turn me into a machine, I guess is all I ask.
That's very. That is a fair request, I think. So, where's Dunsparrow?
Upstairs,
As,
getting ready.
as you were having this conversation, you actually notice that about a quarter of the way down the stairs is Dunsparrow. She's walking down this spiral staircase with this, like, she's got this whole presentation.
I should have
She's
changed.
wearing, it almost looks a little bit like the evil Disney princess,
Oh no.
That's
where
awesome.
it's like, it's literal, like, jade, like stone jade inlaid into a otherwise like jet black dress, and it's got this like peacock like floral like back like thing coming out like fan coming out of like the back of the dress as she's stepping down, kind of like wearing, one hand is gloved, the other is not, as she's like holding the gloved hand along the rail as she walks down.
I,
Wow.
s-
And
I,
she,
I see her coming down, and my clothes change into a matching outfit. Sort of a suit with a very deep V cut. And if I can get fancy, like vines that give me curl up and give me a turtleneck again.
yeah. So you've got like these like jade emerald
Yeah.
like kind of vines that go up your like black suit, deep V cut, very Giorgio Armani of you. Um, as she walks down, she just
Boo.
looks around and just goes, "Well, don't we all look beautiful?"
I
Um,
look at Varric. Did Varric change?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't change either. So I look at Varric and I'm just like, I
High
didn't know I
five.
was
you watch
supposed
as
to
she is
change.
specifically looking at Cass as she said that.
I reached out for the high five.
Um, as this happens, you watch as Solinor kind of steps in and then sees Dunsparrow, and they kind of lock eyes. And she just goes, "Oh, and I see we've brought a guest." And she holds out her hand, and Solinor like looks around. Um, you watch as he just like grabs her hand and like shakes it, and he goes, "Hello, my name is Solinor. I was a friend of your father's." And you watch as Dunsparrow literally just looks like she got hit by a truck, and she goes, "What?" Um, my name is Solinor, and I was a friend of your father's. And she just goes, "Okay." Turns and like looks around. What is Sundara's face doing right now?
Uh, I think almost like a grimace where she's like, I probably should have,
Yeah,
I don't know, ran this by.
yeah. So
I'm
her
like,
eyes like look around, and her eyes set on you, and she cocks her head with like a look that just says like, "Okay, that's information." And she looks
This
back
is
at him.
my ex-wife, Sarah.
She looks over and like looks her up and down, and just goes, "Wow, hello. My name's Dunsparrow. Uh, thank you for visiting me in my home. And you watch Sarah just goes, she like stands up straight and she's like, oh yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful home. And with that, you hear this, and you look in the back and you see Cobb looking all dressed up with a bow tie.
I
Just
really
goes,
should have changed.
oh, dinner's ready. If we're all here for it, why don't we all take a seat? And you watch as
Prices
Dunsparrow,
are burden.
yeah, Dunsparrow holds out her arm towards you, Cass.
I walk with her to the table.
She walks over. Where's everybody sitting?
I'll sit next to Sarah. I'll pull her chair out for her, and and I'll sit next to her.
You watch as Dunsparrow whispers something to Cobb, and she sits down at the head of the table.
Take the seat to her left.
Okay.
I'll put Sarah on her right,
Wait.
and I'll sit.
No.
As
Other way. Other way. Right.
Okay, other way, it doesn't matter.
So Cass, you're sitting to the right
It does
of
for me,
Dunsparrow?
yes.
Okay.
I'll put Sarah to the left of Dunsparrow. And myself.
I feel like
as you do, Cobb kind of like walks over and just goes, Lord Varric and your guest, please take a seat over here. And he like pulls a seat next to Cass.
Dude, I got fucking bumped. Whatever.
Got bumped. Can't sit next to the queen. My queen.
That happens. He like holds a chair for you and then actually leaves. Goes the other way and pulls a chair up and he says, my Lord Solinor, please. And he sits him next to Dunsparrow.
Damn. I'll put Sarah on. So I'll sit next to Cass in the middle.
Yeah.
And have Sarah on my right, I assume.
Leaving the other head of the table to Samui.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't want
Seems
those two next to each
appropriate.
other.
Okay.
Well, who am I sitting next?
You're at the
You're
head of the table.
next to Sarah.
Okay. Are we still working on that bottle?
I assume it's gone.
You look around. You notice Sarah has actually like tucked it under one of the cabinets because you guys have like made your way through a lot of it.
Okay.
And with that, Sundar, I assume you're sitting next to Solinor. Solinor speaks up and says, Lady Beaumont, thank you for inviting me into your home. Dunsparrow shoots a glance at you, Sundara, and he says, as a gesture of goodwill and as a token of my friendship to your father, I've brought a gift of the old Netherese Empire, a bottle of wine as old as myself.
Shit.
that's really old.
Its value is immeasurable, and although I'm not a connoisseur, I hope it will be to your liking. And he looks at you, Varric.
Shake my head.
And with that, he says, forgive the party tricks. I seem to have misplaced this. Allow me one moment. And you watch as he holds out his hand, and there's this like golden flash of light, and this bottle like apparates in the air and is suspended and then just drops, and he doesn't catch it, but he holds out his hand and it drops, and right before it hits his hand, it just is suspended in the air and stops.
Is it the same one they were drinking out of?
It is not. With that, he sets it down at the table, and you watch as he gives another like wave of the hand, and you watch as it's like a dusty ass bottle, and you watch as all the dust just like flecks off of it and disappears, and it's just like a pristine, like brand new bottle of wine with text on it that only Cass can read.
What about Solnar?
You don't know.
What's it say?
Says,
Kath, you would read. It says, the text that you see says Enclave Vineyards.
okay. Does not mean anything to me.
Yeah, this would be a
What's
this
a
would be a
vintage?
synod. It would be a synod reserve.
I feel like I should write that down. Okay, I will notice that and say nothing about it.
Cool. Love the secrets.
And
It just
You
seems
watch as
irrelevant.
you watch as he says, and if I may indulge myself for a moment, this is a synod reserve. It happens to be the same make and vintage of a bottle that Sundara, her grandfather, stole from a High Netherese council when we were both, or when he was an apprentice and I was an ambassador, that we shared together, and it marked kind of a stepping stone in the beginning of our friendship. And he looks at you, Sundar, as he says this, and says, I recalled the make and vintage, and it has held a special place in my heart, and I hope that it is a memorable experience for you all as well. So, if you'll please enjoy. And you watch as like the wax seal on the top just like basically just like blossoms into like a little wax flower as the cork just like lifts off the top and doesn't make any noise as it uncorks itself.
Wow. Fancy.
And with that, Cobb just kind of rushes to it and just goes, well, just like old times. Begins like pouring a couple glasses and just goes, oh, oops, I seem to have poured an extra. Oh, that's a shame. My apologies, Lord Selenor. And he like hands out glasses to everybody.
Oh, I don't drink.
Ah, you don't. Oh, okay. Takes that and like pours it in a glass, and then like takes that and says, I will set this aside. And like steps aside and takes like a big swig of it.
I like Cobb.
Lovely. He's a wonderful man.
And with that, Dunsberg just says, wow, you definitely didn't need to bring any gifts. Your reputation precedes you, and it's an honor to have you in my home. So, cheers, everyone. I suppose as the lady of the house, this is a moment that my father would have taken to come up with some big speech, surely with some kind of agenda. But I can only say I am pleased that we could all share this meal and this drink together as friends. And I hope that we have more similar experiences like this in the future. So that's all I'll say. So cheers, everybody. Enjoy. with that,
Cheers.
Tink, tink, tink.
you all take a drink.
Yes,
Oh,
but
you
now,
ask it like
now I'm
that.
regretting it.
I know. Excuse me.
As you take a drink, Cassius, Sandara, you gain a floating sorcery point
Oh.
that exists until it is consumed.
Okay.
Varric, Sarah, Samugi gain the ability to use the spell Mage Hand for the next 24 hours.
I didn't drink any.
That's right, you did not drink any. But anyone who's not a primary spellcaster would gain 24 hours of the use of Mage Hand.
That's very interesting.
So Samugi, you would have this strange sensation that you can just like move small objects with your mind now.
Is there food at the table?
There's not. As this happens, you watch as Cobb returns. As he just goes, all right, so what we have for our first course, and you watch as there's like a little army of clockwork servants that kind of follow him. As he clasps his hands together and says, this first dish is one that was inspired by a famous chef out of Orphan. We attempted to replicate and, dare I say, improve his truffle-infused wild mushroom veloute. This is a rich, creamy medley of wild mushrooms infused with the finest truffle oil that actually grows on the very grounds. It is served with a delicate swirl of a creamed cow's milk that is also garnished with microgreens. So everyone enjoy. And he like steps back, and these plates are set before you.
Dig in.
Oh, how's being mayor of New Callum? Dunsparrow.
Oh.
Is it okay if I call you Dunsparrow? Do you prefer like
Oh,
Mayor Beaumont or?
No, that would be awful.
No.
I'm definitely not mayor. The title is High Chancellor, but it's really a it's all for show. I am just another council member. I do not have any more power than anyone else there. And you, as she says that, you hear Sarah just go,
Oh, I should.
and you watch as Dunsparrow just like her eyes glance over and then she ignores it. And you watch as Sarah like looks up as everyone's staring at her, presumably, and she has that look of like, oh shit, did I do that out loud? And she just goes, sorry, this is very rich, but it's good. And she like puts her head down and just like
I look to Cass and Varric and Samugi as someone else to make conversation.
Samugi, without any regard to table etiquette
Love
or
it.
the current conversation at hand, is deeply, deeply focusing on moving the food on his plate towards him with using his mind.
you look over at Samugi. Are we talking like full like Space Odyssey? Like there's like a clump of liquid soup that's just in the air, like burn, 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 burn. Like, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you kind of look over at Samugi, and he's just sitting there like a bead of sweat going down as he's like Charles Xaviering a bite full of soup into his mouth. Perfect.
I just Is what did Sarah literally put her head onto the table?
She didn't. She just like ducked down into the soup and just started like kind of sipping it.
I kind of give her like a reassuring pat on the back.
She like looks over at you, and you watch as she like takes a deep breath. She like puts her hand on her chest, and you see this like warm glow, and you watch as she like sobers up.
Nice. Lay on hands, dude.
That's dope. So, Solinor, you are quite the man of mystery, I must say.
What?
How is it like
Is he a spy?
wherever you are? He seems like the guy with the big ego.
It's, I assure you, it's not as impressive as you might think.
I'm impressed by little things.
Well, I live in a workshop. I have a beautiful view of the Valendry Sea. I quite literally live in the shadow of the floating city, which is nicer than it sounds. There are places where the sun peeks through, and
Oh, so you're grounded like us?
you watch as he like tilts his head. There's a gold glint to his eyes, and he says, "Yes, I
Is he reading my mind?
very much. I am a grounder. So
Grounder and proud.
I hope I don't disappoint, but I don't have much, many things that I think would impress you.
Well, I mean, it sounds...
Your clockwork sentinels alone.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've all faced them numerous times. He looks over at Dunsparrow as he says that, who kind of like looks down at her soup. He says, and you're all quite alive, so it looks like there's room for improvement.
We sometimes cheat.
That was a joke, of course. I'm pleased that none of my inventions have killed anyone, or killed you.
Killed us.
He like, you notice he's just kind of like taking the soup and like dumping it out in his plate, just kind of playing with it a little bit.
The boat is great.
I need everyone actually to make a.
Talk about the boat.
Don't talk about the boat.
No, I said let's talk about the boat. It's amazing.
You all forget that he just said that.
This motherfucker.
That he just said the killing us with the
Yep.
sentinels? Okay.
And what you do here is, I'm very pleased to see that you have all faced my clockwork sentinels and have not been seriously harmed or killed by them.
The boat is great. I would say not realizing that Cass just said that.
I am glad that you enjoy it. It is not the way that I would have made it.
Kind of. I pretend that it's like a gift. Don't worry.
It was made to Gunner's specifications, and he was not, let's just say he was not the more practical member of our group.
Do you stay
Probably
in touch?
the second least practical.
Who's the
Who's
most?
the first least?
Yeah, who's the least practical?
Come on, guys.
Oh, we traveled with a wizard by the name of Autoluke.
Oh, we know Luke.
Yeah, Autoluke's up right now.
He's a friend of ours.
He's a very, very powerful wizard.
Well,
Really?
he's
He kind of like
useful.
tilts his head and says, in his own way.
you stay in touch with any of the old crewmates?
I do, or I did. Gunnar was always a friend to me, despite our differences.
Call them a. Never mind.
So which piece did you get?
Oh.
Oh, shit.
His eyes glint gold once more.
Oh.
You're referring to the pieces of the inevitable.
I mean, you can see what I'm thinking, so why don't you tell me?
Well, I was not pleased that we had to destroy that creature. It was unfortunate.
Yet you still took a prize.
I did. I was hoping for something to... Maybe one day... And he looks at you, Sundar, and says, put together that which was sundered. And in the spirit of that, I took its heart.
Interesting.
I took its heart. Faraday took its eyes. Autoluke took its ledger. Mira took the veil. Iron Soul took the silks, and Oswald took the chimes. And Gunnar... Well, you already know what Gunnar took.
And Beaumont.
Nope, that's Oswald. No. Oh, man. Subject change.
So, Sarah, how's
Yeah,
everything
Sarah.
in the Sea of Swords going? I'm sure Dun Sparrow's doing an excellent job at whatever Grand Counselor means or whatever they do.
Sure. Well...
Immediately, I think, terrible pivot, terrible subject change.
You watch as she said, well, I've heard that there's been a lot less crime on the city.
I keep a hand just on her shoulder, gently. Just,
He
you know.
looks at you and, takes your hand and removes it. And leans forward and says, there's been a lot less crime, as pirating is punishable by death, as is petty theft, or drunkenness, or being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or anything that these machines seem to act on. We never really know. And with that, Dun Sparrow, just looks at Sarah and takes a sip of the wine and just says, well, since the introduction of the Clockwork Sentinels, that were, of course, beautifully crafted by our master shipbuilder here, you're absolutely right, Sarah. Crime has all but become a thing of the past, and the city that has once been been sacked 3 times now? I think that the introduction of the Clockwork Sentinels have very much augmented the Sea of Swords as being a friendly neighborhood service that it has been. Now it just has more teeth. And she gives like a polite smile and another drink of water or wine. With that, see, as this conversation has been happening, you watch as Cobb's head like shoots out from behind a door, and then you just kind of like hear like talking, like hurried talking, and you watch as he like rushes out with like a tray and just says, "And now for our next portion." And you see he like does this, and a bunch of automatons come up and like grab everybody's soup and take it away. And you watch as Sarah like grabs her bowl as she wasn't done with it and like rips it back from the automaton and like sets it down. What she says, for our next course, we have a bed of seared scallops on a bed of a saffron risotto. Again, these were not locally sourced. A lot of the fish is not
Painted by
suitable.
Kraken.
More the waste from the city. No, these are orphan scallops, so they are fattier than your typical Oran varietals.
Did you say orphan?
Yes.
Or a
Yep.
fin.
Oh, orphan.
A little taste of home for you, huh, Varric?
Well, I was thinking orphan, like they didn't have parents. And that made me sad. But yes, orphan.
I can say this as I've personally vetted each of these dishes. One bite, and you will be assured that these scallops did have parents. And with that, like they're all set down in front of you.
So, Eleanor, do you think the Clockwork Sentinels could be made without the souls of beings? Just checking in about that. I think that'd be I mean, you've probably done a lot of experiments, so.
I suppose so. They'd have completely different functions and purpose, as the nature of the soul was meant to give a more visceral sentience to the construct. That being said, it's unsavory business. No offense to the ladyship here, as again, that was Faraday's invention, and at the time he assured me that the souls that he sourced were sourced ethically. That being said, recent events have caused me to question that promise.
Above the table, did we know that Faraday invented the tincture stuff?
I
I don't think we
Yeah,
did.
okay. Pretty sure that's the first time I heard it.
Is that
Yeah.
the first time you've heard of it?
No.
Yeah.
He
Lord
looks
Rock.
over at all of you, and like you look noticeably confused, I assume. He says, "Oh, yes, the as he coined it, the tincture was that was Faraday's invention. I briefly experimented in it with the Clockwork Sentinels and have since moved on to other projects. I can understand the utility of them, but as I said, it's how do I put it? For my purposes, it's a bit of messy business to continue the production, which is again why I've moved on to other projects. However, if you did create them in theory without the use of tincture, they would essentially exist as an animated armor, something that would essentially just kill on sight.
I just read Jessica's text.
Yep, me too. So we'll say that's what Samugi blurts out right at this moment.
Right. This is going well.
Yeah.
Is everybody having a good time?
Maybe we don't talk about the production of souls and what we do with them in this city just for the night.
That's
This is
That
a
Dunsparrow kind of like butts in and says, I also think that the use of tincture is wrong. Again, as we've learned more about their the truth behind their make, I think that New Callum will certainly be looking into alternative forms of security. No offense to your handiwork, Lord Shipbuilder, and you watch a Saunders says, like, oh no, of course.
perfect. There we go. Ethics.
ethics. Good dinner talk.
With that, Solinor begins like looking around kind of anxiously as there's this awkward silence, and you can tell he's like extremely uncomfortable.
I sunk a ship in 18 seconds 2 days ago. Maybe that was yesterday.
With that,
Really proud of that.
Solinor just says, I presume with a manipulation of the water.
Yeah, I kind of wish I could have done it a little bit faster, more efficient. Now that I say it out loud. But
It's
you
an
couldn't even hear the water, you know, kind of move back into position. It was like almost instantaneous.
It's no, it's an impressive feat. I have seen your grandfather use a similar maneuver to what you described many times in the war.
What war?
The Netherese were often at war with surrounding nations.
News to me. You know, they don't really teach a lot of Netherese distant history in Villandry.
I think the theory is that they're afraid of perpetuating some of the ideals. And between you and me, I've found the Villandry elves to have a bit of a superiority complex. They don't like to acknowledge the achievements of our human brethren.
I mean, yes. But to be fair, for the last, like, 1,500 years have had a pretty good civilization run, which, can we really say that much for, what's the proper term? The, people on land.
Well, that is because Villandry, which...
I know, because we don't share our... Got it. Yep.
No, because Villandry used to be a part of the Netherese Empire. The landmass, at least, and your grandfather chose to save that portion where his family was from. So... But I digress.
This
Uh,
is not dinner conversation either, I don't think.
Oh, apologies.
No, I mean, I brought it up. I'm not saying it's your fault, Eleanor. It's all. Cass, what cool magic have you done recently?
uh, well, as they were talking, I zoned out and leaned over to Dun Sparrow. Uh, Sparrow, are we expecting anybody else tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. He
That she looks
relaxes.
over and just says, "Your friend is the granddaughter of Karsus."
I told you, these people are important.
Okay. So she kind of like interrupts, like whatever conversation's happening. You are the granddaughter of Karsus.
Yes.
Oh,
I go, well,
how does that work?
um, well, so he had a daughter, my mother, and then my mother had me, and I thought the grandparent thing was the same down here.
Uh, well, now that you've explained it, I understand that it is. So, you would be, if you don't mind me making this observation, centuries old.
Just a little over a century old, yes.
Hmm. So, well, I don't know what to ask. That's very fascinating. I apologize if I was.
Oh, no,
being-
I forgot that it's not as common. But no, yeah, my grandfather lived for quite a while. My mother's about, I think you guys
Wait,
call it
well, Karsus was an elf? I apologize, but in all the text, it seems implied that he's human.
I mean, from what I just learned, he was half elf, half human.
Wow. I definitely know for sure that some of our history books got that wrong.
It's actually, there's a large chunk that it seems they've gotten wrong about Karsus, but what are you gonna do?
Wow. Well, if only I was more of a historian, but still fascinating.
You see what good conversations with good friends bring about. We can all share
Yeah,
what we know. Help
maybe
each
someday you
other.
could come to Valendry. That would be pretty cool.
Big swig of wine. Uh, yes, you haven't already shared.
Oh, share. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're mentioning that conversation and sharing knowledge. Haven't you already shared all your knowledge with your friends?
Well, everything I know. Did they don't seem all too interested in bardic studies.
Hmm.
That sounds interesting.
It's not.
Oh, never mind.
It's really not. Shared something cool. Yeah, she sank a ship. Um, I I oh hmm. I gave sentience to a weapon that is from a different plane of existence. Let me correct. Something that isn't a different plane of existence, but is not here. And I place for the precursor on the table. I think that's pretty cool.
You watch as Solinar like reaches a hand out and says, "May I?"
No.
He just nods. Dunsparrow does not ask. She reaches out to grab it.
Yeah, okay, I let her.
She just kind of takes it and plays with it.
It's at the table.
She casts a spell.
It won't help.
You're right. She looks at you and like pushes it over to Solinor.
I reach out and grab it.
She pulls it back, like away from your grasp.
Okay. Give me the gun.
With that, she like looks at you with this like kind of challenging look, and with that, you watch as Cobb steps back out with this like with again this troop of soldiers behind him. As Dunsparrow looks away, you watch as Solinor like flicks a hand, and the gun shifts over towards you.
Oh. Okay. I snatch it. I grab it back. We can talk about it later if you want, I guess. Looking at Dunsparrow. You, Solinor. I mean, I guess you can ask me questions, but you understand. I can't just be giving this to anybody.
Solinor just looks at you and says, "I actually have no questions. It's fine. It looks to be a fine weapon." With that, Cobb just goes, "All right, what do we got here?" And he like pulls up this like sheet of paper, and he's like, "This is a herb-crusted salmon with Bura Blanc. It's a tender billet encrusted with a mixture of fresh herbs, breadcrumbs, served with a velvety lemon beurre sauce, accompanied by asparagus spears. The asparagus came from the halfling farms outside of Orphan. So, another Orphanian sourced dish here. This one, the fish came out of the fishing villages to the northwest of Newcastle."
I must say, Dunsborough, the food has been quite delicious. Is it better than Borden Remsley's food?
It is. It's not, but it's like it's more pretentious. Where you could tell like they really leaned into like the more expensive ingredients and then kind of overdo it with them. Where it, as a food critic might say, it insists upon itself.
Okay. That perfectly describes it in my mind too. So it's
It's very much like screaming like this is super fancy and you should love it. Whereas like Borden Remley's food is very much like you taste it and there's just like a perfect balance of everything, and you have a moment where there's like the flower song that plays in the back of your mind, and then you just like get transported to like another world, and then your life is a little different after.
it's an experience.
Yeah, that sounds like mushrooms.
A little bit. But with that, food is served. And with that, Dunsmore just goes, "Cobb, why don't you join us?" Just goes, "All right." He comes over, sits down, like rolls up his sleeves, and he actually like has his own plate that he brought that it looks like he's been working on in the back. It's clearly like less decorated and just has like more actual food on it. And he's just like, and he just like holds up a fork and just goes, I knew these two when they were what? Let's just say young adults. Troublemakers, the both of them. It's, if I may, your ladyship, it warms my heart to see both at this table, both doing so well for yourselves.
Well, it helped to have a little safe haven there.
Well, Cass, I had very low expectations for you.
That's fair.
I always thought there's someone that could do anything, yet is going to do nothing.
You have no idea how much that hurts.
Well, I mean, it's nothing I haven't said to your face. But look at you. You know, you got this group together. You know, I have been eavesdropping on everything, so you know, look at that. You're hanging out with the granddaughter of Karsus. It's got to count for something, right?
Yeah, I think who everyone is, their accolades, not that important. They're all just friends.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean,
it is pretty good. It is pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty fucking cool. You know, it's I don't know, man. I was like, one of these days, this guy's, you know, I don't know. It's like this guy's gonna end up in prison or worse.
Okay, well, I did.
You know, a lot of times people gotta go to prison to find themselves. You know, ask me.
You've been to prison?
I thought you knew this about me.
And I love you when I say this, I don't know much of anything about you.
Yeah, 7 years in Her Majesty's prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
Won't ask you what you did.
How do you think I know how to make drinks so good?
Well, that seems like you don't need to go to prison to do that, but if that's what you learned there...
You think there's anyone else in all of Brightwater or beyond that knows how to make a Cadillac?
Probably.
I'm sure somebody out there knows how to make whatever that is.
They do. And they're about, I don't know, 30-minute boat trip west of here, up a trail of razor-sharp rocks in cell blocks D.
Oh. Okay. Doesn't sound like a drink that I'd enjoy drinking, but I will say, Cobb, it is nice to have.
It is. You've had it many times. I've renamed it for the common folk. It's the Governor.
Oh.
That's a prison drink.
Oh. Well, I mean, Jesus, your prison drinks were way better than ours.
Well,
would it be too much to ask for a governor?
He slams his hand down at the table, gets up, and just goes, "How strong?"
Standard strength?
Oh, maybe that
And he
was
turns around and walks away.
I was going to ask him to tell us funny stories about you, but then he brought that up. So.
He comes back with 8 shot glasses, all like in his fingers that are like kind of spilling, and he comes down and like sets them down at the table.
Why not? Why not? Good night.
Yeah.
And he
Having
looks
a
at
good
John
time.
Sparrow and just goes, you know, went in presence of the Duchess. Shoots it back.
I grab a glass and hand one to Sparrow. Grab one myself.
Do you want one of these, Solinor?
I told your companion that he and I would be abstaining in solidarity.
Oh. It's a little juice then. Perfect.
His eyes glint gold, and he just goes, yes.
All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
And he looks at you, Cass, and he's just been like, hope you didn't go soft on us. You ready to ride the fucking lightning? And shoots it back.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shoot it back.
Shoot it back. I was not hoping for a Constitution save.
I'll give Cass, since you've had this drink before, I'll give it to you with advantage. Sundara, go ahead and make a Constitution save.
Okay, wait, pause. I really want to restore balance and make that without advantage.
You can do that.
Please
I'm gonna,
do.
I gotta do it.
Okay. So
That's so funny.
that's a 5.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Okay. Cass, you are considered poisoned.
Jesus, I'm so sorry.
So, as
Just
soon as you
as
taste
lovely.
it has got a strong taste of just like concentrated seawater. That is immediately cut by like the sharpest, most acidic, like pure battery acid that completely wipes out the salty taste and makes your entire mouth go numb. And then what remains is just this like residual, like pure like grain alcohol mixed with fish.
Oh, okay.
So, and then as you're like the sensation in your mouth kind of comes back, everyone except for Cass, it's actually almost a little bit pleasant because it's like this residual, just like slow build of your taste buds coming back online over the next like 20 minutes, where there's this like dancing of like citrus, fish, and salt that all like. It's at this moment when you're completely numb that the aftertaste is kind of okay. But Cass, you are like sick to your stomach right now.
Yeah. Really purifies you and then just desecrates it right away.
Yeah. I initially when I opened up the last drop, it was supposed to be called the Desecrator, but that
It's a little strong. Yeah.
So I renamed it to the Governor, because one of those drinks that you can just sort of, you know how old rich people just sort of sit there and like taste their own mouth? That's exactly what you do for the next half hour.
It's inspired. I will give it that.
I don't think I ever want to taste it again, but very interesting.
Yeah, but you kind of see the appeal, right?
No.
No, no,
No.
I'm sorry.
It's like a Cobb looks at Dunsparrow and looks at Solinar, and then looks back at you and he says, well, I was going to say something, but we're in the presence of a lady right now, so I'll tell you later.
I'm gonna rinse out my mouth with some water. Just
Okay.
whoosh.
It does not help. So, with that, the rest of your meal is brought to you. These are all like very small bites. The main course is actually going to be like.
It's a full
Wasn't the
bite.
main course?
Nope.
What the heck?
There's a fish course and then there's a meat course which is a fillet of some kind of meat. Actually, he'll tell you. It's this is Lemurian Hydra.
Oh, didn't we need that?
Well, he's talking-
can
yeah,
I
I think-
take some of this?
I mean, it's already cooked, so.
Okay.
You got any raw pieces of the back?
But as you taste it, this is like the. In fact, I'd need like a wisdom saving throw from you guys for this.
Oh,
I
shit.
definitely thought we were on desserts.
No, we're full 16 course meal.
Ooh, 20.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Wisdom.
20 for me as well.
This is the tastiest thing you've ever had in your life. It's just perfectly balanced. I'm not gonna be able to describe this, but it's like a mix of like the best sushi you've ever had, but it's like got almost like a smoky flavor and some like the savory flavor of like a beautiful steak as well. So it's kind of like a mix between like sushi and steak. It's hard to describe, but it's just like pure like visceral like mouth pleasure. Um, you watch as Cobb just like completely like gobbles his down. Varric just like gobbles his down. Sarah is able to kind of like restrain herself, as is Dun Sparrow, as is Samugi, as are the both of you. But like you're also like, if I weren't at the table, I would just like slam this into my mouth and just like suck on it.
It's so good we had to make a wisdom saving throw to not just
I know.
lose
not-
all decorum.
Exactly. With that, you will finish with a lavender creme brulee.
Yeah, dessert.
Some seasonal berries that do grow on the grounds.
Doesn't make
In its delight.
Is anybody not eating their dessert?
I am.
Yeah, everyone's going to town on their dessert.
Okay, just making sure because I was gonna steal it.
You look over, and Cobb looks at you and says, "We got extras too. I know they're a little small.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I'll make it happen.
Thanks.
Any more governor shots to go around?
Absolutely not.
No, thank you.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. He walks over and he'll bring you a second serving of the dessert as well.
Yes. Love desserts.
Perfect. So with that, as your meal comes to a close, Denspiro looks over you all and says, "Well, I've very much enjoyed the company and the conversation, and if you are all interested, I'm happy to do the same tomorrow night. Just let me know ahead of time so I can give Cobb enough notice. And Cass, perhaps you and your group have some things to talk about. But if you choose to stay, know that I will support you however I can."
Weird.
Yeah, another dinner would be lovely. This was nice to get to do it again. That'd be a blessing.
Okay. Well, let me know if the rest of your troop agrees. And she stands up and says, "I fear that Nethery spirit made me a little lightheaded. I'm going to retire for the evening. It was a pleasure meeting you, Solinor, Sarah," and like waves at the rest of you, and then she'll kind of make her way out.
I stand up and walk around to the other side of the table, slowly pushing Dunsparrow's chair if she hasn't done that, and then walk up to Sandara. Solinor, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to steal your lady for just a little bit. Give him a big smile, and then I grab Sandara's hand and try to
I'm
walk
actually
away.
going to make my way back to the workshop, but it was a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, well, in that case, Sandara, my room.
What? Right now?
Nope. You can say your goodbyes.
Oh. Okay. Are you? And I turn to Salvador. Okay. Should I walk you out to the teleportation? Are you just gonna? When are we gonna? I feel like last time I saw you was like months ago, and I'm just, yeesh, you know. Feel like I should see you again sometime sooner. Or you can, like, just stay the night. Then we don't have to say goodbye right now.
Well, I suppose I could do that. I could catch up tomorrow on things that I did.
On your work that you're going to be working on for ever. One day, one night away from your workshop won't delay things too much, I'm sure.
That is a fair point. Okay, I will. I'll walk the grounds, and you just can find me.
Perfect. Okay. And I get up and run over to Cass. I convinced him to stay that night.
Impressive. Feels like he's really. Yep. Anyways,
Yeah.
follow me.
Okay.
I go find a room.
Okay.
Close the door. Lock it. If it has a lock.
It does.
Oh, I'm getting a bad feeling. What's going on, Cass? Oh, it was a trap all along, wasn't it?
It was a trap all along.
Okay.
And I'm telling you this because I think you're the one that would understand the most. Dun Sparrow is caught in the vines of the druids, just like Varric is.
Okay.
And she didn't say so, but I think she is. She's at least in some debt and probably in danger. Now, the part I need you to stick with me on is it is a trap. It is here to get Varric here, so the druids can kill him tomorrow. Once again, stick with me.
Cass?
I plan to let that happen.
She kind of like sucks in her breath and just pauses and holds it.
If we get his body, things will be fine. If Varric dies, Dunsparrow upholds her deal, whatever. She's safe. She's fine for now. I can bring Varric back. I think. I'm almost positive I can.
Well,
I am.
now we need what? Okay. I'm trying to stick. I'm sticking. She's like breathing faster. I'm sticking, but this is Varric's life we're talking about. So almost is kind of not enough.
He's died a lot. It's hard.
That's fair, but what if they disintegrate him?
Okay, then maybe I am going to protect her over anything else.
Over anything else.
Yes. So
And
maybe
that means Varric's life.
it does. But I'm not willing
So
to just throw away his life.
So we need a way to pay the price of Varric's life without losing Varric, is what you're telling me.
She told me. And she told me we can leave. But that puts her in some position.
Is this like she gets... what is the exchange here? They get Varric's life and she is... like, is this a willing contract, or did she...
I don't think it is. I think it's as willing as Varric's is. But, I mean, for God's sakes, Varric's heart is made of grass. He doesn't want that. So something is probably the same with her. And
Excuse me.
well, I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Okay.
Okay, I guess what I'm saying is I'm down to kill everybody that comes to kill Varric. And to constantly run and protect all of us and also Dunsparrow from their retaliation.
Yep.
Or
that's
we
not...
leave. Or we leave and we hide. I don't think she'll come. And I don't really want to do that.
Is there a way to make a Varric that is not Varric and let that die? Does Dunsparrow have magic that powerful? And is she willing to help us in this? Did you ask her that?
She said as much. I think she
I mean, our options
aren't very many.
not very many and not very good. Are you going to tell Varric this?
I don't know. I think I have to, but I know what his answer is going to be. And it's going to be violence.
Yeah. If it was... Oh, God. If there was any way to predict how he would react, I would say that we have to tell him, but at the same time...
I think we have to tell him. I don't feel good not telling him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. But it's happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Here?
Yeah. She said a witch is coming to the dinner.
Okay. Well... If he's... Okay, what can you bring back? What if he's decapitated?
Well, I think that's actually one of the only things that matters.
And
Yeah.
he still has a head?
He needs to have vital organs and body parts. So if he has no head, then I can't do anything.
Okay.
Oh my
We've
good
got
lord.
time. We've got time. And we have magic, and we've got our plucky attitudes, I guess. So we will figure something out. Because we love Eric, and you love Dunsparrow, and these people matter to us. And so we're going to make it so that it's all gonna work. It has to.
We've solved every problem so far.
Yeah.
We'll solve this
Dare
one.
I say bigger ones? Maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah.
It's at the very worst. It's a body napping and a hasty, stressful revival.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sarah's gonna kill us. Sarah is going to kill us if she finds out. She will decapitate us. Maybe we wait till she leaves and then she's gotta go back to New Callum. Natasha's there.
We can't. She can't
And then
know.
Yeah. At all.
She can't know. She is put through too much stress on Varric's part.
Yeah.
She can't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll think of something. Yeah, we've got all night.
1, 2, 3, break.
I put my hand on the door and I just like pin deep breaths in and out. Okay.
Okay. What are you all doing the rest of your evening?
Oh God.
Okay.
Planning?
I am no, too disruptive. Planning.
You're planning?
Yeah.
How are you planning?
Fuck, I don't know. Okay.
Where are you going physically, Cass?
Okay, well, what I was thinking was I'm going outside to the bench where I first spoke to Dunsparrow. And I'm just looking at the charm that was hanging in the tree. And then as I'm sitting there, I'm going to just, can I vortex warp objects? Jasmine?
Oh, I don't
Nope.
think
Just creatures?
so.
Okay. Never mind. I'm going to waste the 3 spells, I'm sorry, that are in my ring.
Okay, I'll put more.
Well, I'm gonna put a 5th level temporal shunt into it. And then shit, I don't know.
Oh, if only I could do over 5. That's an idea.
I mean, I can get revived tomorrow.
Yeah, but I want to cast it on an object. Like a glyph.
Oh. Smart. Okay, fuck. If I pull out the identifying scope and sort of zoom in on the charm, do I get any more information about its purpose?
Yeah. This is a component of a larger ritual. So this is a component of a ritualized hallow spell. So
Okay.
the grounds here have been hallowed such that you cannot scry on them, other than if you are within the circle of ruin and thistle.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
You would also know that the teleportation sigil here and all teleportation, like traversal magic, on a whim, can be
shut down.
essentially turned off. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's at the will of whoever casts the spell.
At the will of the casters of the spell.
Casters.
This was a group casting to cover the distribution of Barrowmore. And I would say that by the work of the charm, you could tell that this was done specifically by 3 casters. One might even call it a coven.
Okay. Okay. My only other preparation is a above the table question. So, Jasmine, I'll pass it to you if you try anything.
Do you have feign death?
I believe I do. Listen, I am right there with you. Because if we need a body double and someone to be dead, yeah, I was thinking right
okay.
along those lines.
That's all I got.
What level spell is that?
I think 3rd or 4th.
I'm almost positive. Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
I trust you.
Me?
I trust whoever is in charge of making sure my fake dead body doesn't go away forever.
Okay.
Or Varric.
Yeah.
I guess we can just.
Yeah. No, I've got some ideas. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
That's good.
It involves some acting and some magic.
Are you kidding me?
A lot of acting and a lot of magic.
I do the acting, you do the magic. Come on.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
With
Okay.
that, how are the rest of you? How are you guys spending the rest of your night?
Oh god, something's happening. Okay, well, my above the table question is, so they changed the way your magical secrets work to where you can, anytime you can replace a spell, you can change out a magical secret.
Okay.
I agree it's very strong if this is allowed. Maybe don't think it should be, but we've like sort of homebrewed it to where you can change out a spell once per long rest.
I'm fine with that.
So I can change out one of those once per long rest?
Yep.
Okay. And I am spending the rest of my night in my room, if we all have separate rooms, in my room alone, gun in hand, contemplating the importance of friendship, or, you know, what does loyalty really mean?
Yep. Well, that's going to be difficult because Dunsparrow's in your room.
She crawls out from under the bed.
Nope. She was there before
grabs
you got
your
there.
leg.
So, as you get there, she's just there waiting for you.
Okay. Hi. Wasn't expecting you.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be here either.
Dinner went well. Better than it, you know.
Let's not. And she gets up, and she's not going to be interested in talking.
Do I play a bard that isn't horny? I think I do.
Okay.
If she tries to push into things, Cass just stops. I've missed you a lot, but this is a fancy place. Surely you have a large tub or something. Can we not just have a nice, simple, romantic night?
Persuasion check with disadvantage.
23.
She says, maybe. But not tonight, I'm afraid. And she'll walk out.
Fine by me.
Okay.
I go to the aforementioned contemplation.
Okay. Sundara, what are you doing?
Trying to find Solinor walking the grounds, I guess.
Okay. You'll see him outside, pretty near, like, the lighting of the porch, just staring at a bone charm that is hanging from one of the trees.
Oh, I guess I didn't. You didn't tell me about these casts, right? Okay. What are you looking at? Oh.
Do you see that charm?
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 runes in it, although it looks like 1 or 2.
What do the runes do?
Well, by themselves, nothing, but it's... Imagine a portion of a tapestry, and this is just a single stitched thread, with the rest probably spanning all across the island. This is a hallowing ritual.
Ah, like the one we have on our ship.
Similar, but this would be a lot more, in some ways, primitive, and in some ways more powerful, because it was technically a form of high magic, being cast by a coven of witches, instead of one alone. That's how they overcome the breath of the island.
Making the island, I presume, a great place for an ambush or something of that sort.
That's not what my mind went to first. I think of it as a surveillance spell. It cloaks anyone to the eyes of those that are not the caster, yet it allows the casters to freely watch any who step foot here, which obviously makes me hesitant about being here.
Mm. Yeah, things are probably going to get pretty hairy tomorrow, from what I've been told.
Well, sure it's nothing you can't handle.
Probably. Stay with me tonight and leave before things get too crazy.
He looks back at the charm and says, How would you feel about coming back with me for the evening?
Yeah, that's a fair option.
He holds out his hand.
Don't kidnap me.
I wonder if I could.
Okay. And I'll put my hand in his. Oh, wait, before I leave.
Nope.
I should tell Cass. I'll just send a message. See you in the morning. Leaving with Solinor.
I can reply. Can I reply?
Yeah. It's a sending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess
Oh.
it's a message. But yeah, you can reply to a message.
Okay. Don't leave me here to figure this out by myself, please. Wait,
I don't
that
think I
comes
have
off.
any.
That comes off wrong. If I can say more than that, there's a pause. But by all means, please go. I'll see you in the morning. Just please come back.
Got it. And then I'll put my hand in Thalinor's.
Okay.
Dude, if I get
he is-
kidnapped, the timing will be so bad.
It's catastrophic.
He is going to cast a full-on teleport.
Oh.
Not a
He's
gate.
not. He is not going to use the circle.
Cass's expectations are high.
Come on. Show up
You
in
find
flesh.
yourself. You find yourself at the peak of a mountain that is covered in snow. And you look around you, and in the light of the moon, you can see what looks like a frozen lake beneath you. And you see the wings of what look like an adult white dragon in the distance. Beyond the frozen lake, you can vaguely make out some lights of what look like an orc or a Kozanite stronghold. You can tell that the air around you should be freezing cold, yet it is very comfortable. The perfect temperature. You look around, and as you look up, it looks like the actual peak of the mountain has been somehow like carved out into like a crescent moon shape, and you are in like this half bowl turned sideways that is like fully furnished. It's got it's like a very nice almost like a log cabin, but it's like open to the air, yet somehow it's not open to the air, because you look around and you watch as there's like faint bits of snow that fall and hit some kind of barrier and then just like kind of slide off and then like float away.
This is not underneath the Lindry.
No. My workshop has many rooms, and I find clarity to the north. Sounds like maybe I thought you could use the view.
Clarity would be nice.
Now that we're out of the company of your friend who does not partake, perhaps I can pour us both a drink.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And don't worry, I save all the good stuff for here.
Also
And
the good stuff.
you watch as he like reaches into a cabinet, pulls out like another like super full, very nice. This is actually going to be an Elven wine. This is like old Sylvan that you can't read, but you can tell it's Elvish. You look, and in the like in the wall that looks like it's just like made of ice or rock covered in ice, there's like perfectly cut square holes that look like a window, but there's no glass or anything. Yet as you look out, in one of these windows, it's just daytime, yet it's night here. And in another window, you see like these flashes of red, and as you look out, you just see like molten lava like flowing down these 5 spires, with like out of some of the spires there's like explosions of like magma coming out. In another window, you just see like the like crashing of waves against like an object that you can't see, almost like there's some kind of obelisk in the middle of the ocean that you're staring out of. And in another, you find yourself just looking out into a tropical jungle where it is
Well,
also nighttime.
what am I looking at? Are these different planes or different areas of Garces?
Uh, this is all Karsus.
Oh.
This one here takes you towards the Oran Sea. This here is the Burning Hand. This one is the Serpent Lord Shrine. And this one towards the... Actually, I think you already named them.
Wow,
He
you
says,
sure know how to decorate.
like I said, my workshop has many rooms for many different moods. And he hands you a glass of wine, and you watch as like there's just a door by all those like in the middle of those 4 windows, and you watch as he steps over to the door. That's made completely out of brass, and he puts his hands like into this contraption and like twists it, and you watch as the mountain itself shifts and the windows like slide down out of you and back up to where all of them are like this deep glowing red, and he opens the door and you can see this like reddish glow reflecting off of his face as he opens the door to another room.
Is he going in?
He's opening it for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go through.
Okay. You go through and you find yourself atop another mountain peak, except this time you are atop what looks like an active volcano, and you actively just see like magma flowing down beneath you. This room is only lit by the magma itself, so it's like you're in like a lava lamp right now. Also beautifully furnished, and this one has almost like a theme that fits the surrounding area. It looks like he kind of decorated it in almost like a dwarvish like furnishings type way, where there's like a lot of stone. It's like a little bit less like comfy cozy and a little bit more like dwarvish, but still really nice. There's like furs and things like that you can like rest on. And he says, "This is where I go when I'm feeling a little bit less pragmatic. Because, like you said, I think a little bit of entropy is good sometimes."
Yeah. This can be the entropy room.
We'll just interlock his hands with yours and just like stare out at the magma pools beneath you.
Fucking magma dungeon.
Kinky.
The world's most exotic BDSM dungeon.
And we'll just say, I don't know how much of this you want to be like above the table or at the table. But Sandora, you can kind of decide how the rest of your evening goes here.
We can fade to black and presume we did what happens in rooms that fade to black.
Okay. Very well. So we've had now multiple characters have fade to black moments. You guys have learned about some plots going on and some
Dude, it's a mess.
trying to
flags galore.
things. Yeah. So we will pick up, hopefully at a more accessible time for everybody, sometime next week as